The Rangers take on the Tigers, 1:10 p.m. Eastern first pitch. The Detroit Tigers are minus 135 with the total at 9. And if you like the Texas Rangers in an upset win on the road, they're plus $1.15 for some money line cash. Now they're also minus 160 catching the 1.5 on the run line. Mike Foltynewicz is the expected starter on the mound for Texas. Tyler Alexander for Detroit. And folks, let me tell you this, I'm feeling fantastic on a Thursday morning because we are coming off a 4-1 day in our 5 premium sports picks on my Patreon website yesterday. And that's going to put us at 9-2 in our last 11 premium sports picks on that Patreon page. Now we're also hitting at 64% in our last 25 crowd pleaser teasers on that Patreon site as well. And the good news is we have another crowd pleaser teaser tier package pick going off here today. It's actually a 2-leg alternate run line parlay that features 2 very live dogs catching a bunch of runs. Now we currently have over 925 members who are signed up and active on that Patreon page. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally, the link for that site is in the description section below. Once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, the Detroit Tigers are on a 6-game winning streak. Just 7 total runs they gave up during that span. Detroit's also 27-22 straight up at Comerica Park this season. They're taking on a last-place Texas squad who lost their last 8 straight. And they also got the W in only 26% of their road games. Texas is currently 26 games under 500. And they have the second fewest wins in the American League. This Ranger pitching staff gives up more hits on the road than any other team in baseball. Meanwhile, offensively, they're scoring just 3.8 runs a game when they travel. Mike Foltynewicz is on the bump here this afternoon. He's just 2-9 with a 5.91 ERA. And a 1.34 whip. Now, total-wise, Detroit went 60% to the under in their last 10 outings, 4-2 to the under in their last 6 at home. Meanwhile, the Rangers went 60% to the under in their last 10 outings themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Detroit Tigers minus 135 and the under 9 runs. Next ball game, Braves, Phillies, 7:05 East. The Atlanta Braves are minus 140, numbers 9. Charlie Morton for Atlanta. Matt Moore for Philadelphia. Now, Phillies won 3 out of their last 4 ball games at Citizens Bank Park. 27-17 straight up on their home field for the entire season. They're in the top 10 in fewest walks allowed per 9. And Phillies also in the top 5 in striking batters out at home. This Philadelphia pitching staff is fanning 10.2 batters a game in South Philly. They're taking on an Atlanta club who dropped 4 out of their last 6. And they also have a losing road record. The Braves currently have a win percentage of just .465 when they travel. Their lineup's also in the bottom 5 in road hits. When it comes to the number in this one, the Braves are 14-9 to the under against the NL East on the road. Meanwhile, the Phillies have gone 26-20 to the under in divisional play themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Philadelphia Phillies plus 1.5 in the under 9. Next game, Padres, Marlins, 7:10 p.m. East. This game's currently off the board. Blake Snell for San Diego. Zach Thompson possibly for the Fish. Now, if Thompson does get the start here today, just keep in mind he's coming into today's contest with a 1.93 ERA and a 1.00 whip. Marlins currently have a winning record at home. They've also gone 20-16 straight up against National League competition at Lone Depot Park. This Marlins pitching staff is in the top 5 in fewest hits allowed at home. They also give up just 3.5 runs a game when they bat second. They're taking on a Padres club who lost 4 out of their last 7 ball games. The Pods also have a losing road record when facing National League opponents. San Diego's gotten the W in just 18 out of 40 road games against National League competition. And as good as this rotation is, San Diego is currently in the bottom half of the league in road walks allowed. I'm pretty sure Miami's going to open up as the dog in this one. So give me the Miami Marlins plus 1.5, getting the job done against the number. Next matchup, Rays, Indians, 7:10 Eastern Standard Time. The Tampa Bay Rays are minus 145, totals 9. Luis Patino for the Rays, Cal Quantrill for Cleveland. Now the Indians have won 6 out of their last 9 ball games, 3-0 straight up in their last 3 at Progressive Field. As a matter of fact, this Cleveland pitching staff is in the top 10 in striking batters out at home. Meanwhile, offensively, the Indians are also in the top 10 in fewest strikeouts at the plate. Jose Ramirez has hit 19 homers and knocked in 52. Meanwhile, Cesar Hernandez and Franmil Reyes, they've both hit 16 homers apiece themselves. The Indians have successfully cashed in on the run line in 7 out of their last 10 ball games. Now they're taking on a Tampa club who strikes out more than any other team in baseball. The Tampa Bay lineup's fanning 10.2 times a game on the road. Meanwhile, defensively, the Rays are in the bottom 10 in hits allowed per contest when traveling. Luis Patino comes into today's start with a 1-2 record and a 4.87 ERA. When it comes to the total on this one, Tampa's last 3 straight road games got over the number. They've also gone 32-16 to the over when they travel. Meanwhile, the Indians are 27-16 to the over at Progressive Field. I'm going to lean toward the Cleveland Indians plus 1.5 and the over 9 runs. Next matchup, Yankees versus the Red Sox, 7:10 Eastern start time. The Boston Red Sox are minus 120, numbers 10. Tanner Houck's the expected starter for Boston, Jordan Montgomery for New York. Montgomery's just 3-5 on the season with a 4.18 ERA. The Yankees have also struggled in divisional play. Winners of only 19 out of 44 divisional contests. This New York lineup is in the bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 10 in hits. They're taking on a first-place Boston club who's 20 games above 500, and they play really well against the AL East. The Sox are currently 24-12 straight up against divisional opponents. They're also in the top 5 in scoring, top 3 in home hits. Xander Bogaerts is hitting .313 with 51 ribbies along with a .909 OPS. As a matter of fact, Bogaerts is in the top 10 in baseball in both batting average and OPS. Meanwhile, Rafael Devers is in the top 10 in both homers and RBI himself. The third baseman has hit 24 home runs and knocked in 74. The Bo Sox are 28-19 at Fenway Park this season. And it looks like they're going to go with Tanner Houck in a spot start here. 3.38 ERA for the right-handed pitcher. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this one, the Red Sox are 8-7 to the under in divisional play at home. Meanwhile, the Yankees have gone 25-19 to the under against the AL East themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Boston Red Sox minus 120 in the under 10 runs. Next ball game, Cubs versus the Cards, 7:15 Eastern first pitch. The St. Louis Cardinals are minus 130, totals 8. Kwang Young Kim for St. Louis, Albert Alzolay for Chicago. Now Alzolay has been pretty miserable this season, 4.9 record with a 4.59 ERA. The Cubbies have also dropped 3 out of their last 4 ball games, and they really struggle away from home. Chicago's gotten the W in only 19 of 51 road games, and that's good for just 37% in that category. The Cubs have also been getting smoked in divisional play, just 9-15 straight up against the NL Central on the road. Chicago's in the bottom 3 in hits on average per game, and they're scoring only 3.6 runs per contest when they travel. Now they're taking on a St. Louis club who won 4 out of their last 5, and they have a winning record at Busch Stadium. The Cards are currently 27-20 straight up on their home field. This Cards pitching staff is also in the top 10 in fewest hits allowed per game at home. They give up just 3.9 runs a game at Busch Stadium. Kwang Young Kim comes into today's start with a 2.87 ERA and a 1.23 WHIP. When it comes to the total on this one, St. Louis is 29-18 to the under as the home team. Meanwhile, the Cubbies have gone 32-19 to the under when they bat first. I'm going to lean toward the St. Louis Cardinals minus 130 and the under 8 runs. Next matchup, Angels versus the Twins, 8-10 East. The Minnesota Twins are minus 140, numbers 9. Kenta Maeda for Minnesota, Andrew Heaney for the Angels. Heaney's just 5-7 with a 5.56 ERA and a 1.36 WHIP. The Angels have played quite poorly on the road. They've won only 19 of 45 when traveling, and they're in the bottom 5 in road runs allowed. The Angels have also lost 6 out of their last 8 ball games. They're taking on a Minnesota club who won their last 3 straight at Target Field. Top 10 in the majors in fewest strikeouts at the plate. Nelson Cruz is batting .294 with 19 homers and an OPS of .907. Cruz is also in the top 25 in the majors in those 3 categories that I just mentioned. Meanwhile, Josh Donaldson, he's hit 15 homers himself, along with 122 total bases. When it comes to the scoring, Minnesota's 60% to the over in their last 10 outings. They've also gone 26-16 to the over in their home games against American League competition. Meanwhile, the Angels have seen 60% of their ball games for the entire season get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Minnesota Twins minus 140 in the over 9 runs. Next matchup, A's versus the Mariners, 10:10 p.m. East. The Oakland A's are minus 135, totals 8. Sean Manaea for Oakland, Chris Flexen for Seattle. But as good as Flexen's looked, this Mariners lineup has really struggled at the plate. They're currently dead last in the majors in hits on average per game. They're also scoring just 3.8 runs a game at T-Mobile Park. They're taking on an Oakland club who's on a 2-game winning streak. And they also got the W in 6 out of their last 9. The A's have also performed quite well on the road. They're currently 25-18 straight up when traveling, and they rank in the top 5 in road hits. Matt Olson's batting .291 with 25 homers and 63 RBI. The first baseman is also in the top 10 in the majors in OPS. He's got an OPS of .967. Olson's also got himself a staggering 48 extra base hits. Meanwhile, Ramon Laureano, he's hit 14 homers along with 131 total bases. But it's not just all offense for Oakland. Their pitching staff allows just 3.7 runs a game away from their home field. Sean Manaea's got 6 wins on the season and a 3.28 ERA. The lefty struck out 115 batters in just over 109 innings. When it comes to the number in this one, Oakland went 80% to the under in their last 10 outings, 4-1 to the under in their last 5 on the road. Meanwhile, the Mariners saw 3 out of their last 5 home games stay under the number themselves. The Mariners are officially 29-20 to the under at home for the entire year. I'm going to lean toward the Oakland A's minus 135 and the under 8 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup. It is going to be Giants versus the Dodgers, 10:10 Eastern start time. The LA Dodgers are minus 165, numbers 8. Walker Buehler for Los Angeles, Anthony DeSclafani for San Francisco. And as good as Anthony's been, I'm just not sure the Giants can score enough in this one. In addition to losing 3 out of their last 5, the Giants are in the bottom 5 in the league in striking out away from home. This Giants lineup is averaging double-digit strikeouts a game on the road. They're also taking on a Dodger club who leads the majors in striking batters out at home. This LA pitching staff is striking out 10.8 batters a game at Dodger Stadium. They're also holding their opponents to just 3.4 runs a game on their home field. Walker Buehler's 10-1 on the year, 2.37 ERA and a .91 WHIP. The righties also fanned 122 batters and averages slightly over a strikeout an inning. Meanwhile, offensively, the Dodgers are in the top 3 in scoring on average per game, and they lead the majors in walks at the plate. Now, Max Muncy, He's got an OPS of 985, and that's thanks mostly in part to 62 walks at the plate already. Now, Muncy's also hit 22 home runs and ranks in the top 5 in the league in OPS. Meanwhile, Justin Turner is also batting .302 and ranks in the top 20 in OPS himself. Keep an eye on Turner. He's been banged up a little bit, so keep an eye on him if you're firing on this game. Now, total-wise, LA's gone 60% to the over in their last 10, 4-2 to the over in their last 6 at home. Meanwhile, the Giants have gone 24-16 to the over in their divisional games themselves. I'm going to lean toward the LA Dodgers -165 and the over 8 runs. But that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Detroit -135, under 9 runs. Philadelphia +1.5, under 9. I like Miami +1.5, getting the job done against the number. I like Cleveland +1.5, over 9 runs. Boston -120, under 10. St. Louis -$1.30, under 8. Minnesota Twins -$1.40, over 9 runs. Oakland Athletics -135, under 8. Before I give you our next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we've gone 9-2 in our last 11 premium sports picks on my Patreon website. We're also hitting at 64% in our last 25 crowd pleaser teasers on that Patreon page as well. I'm going to lean toward the Los Angeles Dodgers -165 and the over 8 runs. But that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that comes from our YouTube platform. And the shout out goes to Dr. Franco, who said, and I quote, "Did I tell you yesterday I'll be the lowest scoring game in the NBA?" End quote. Now, Dr. Franco, I got to be honest with you. I have no idea what you're trying to say here. No disrespect. I just don't understand it. Was it a question? And if so, you're going to be the lowest scoring game in the NBA? I don't know. And even if you tried to say it will be the lowest scoring game in the NBA and it was just a typo, well, I mean, it was the NBA Finals, so there was only one NBA game. So, yes, I guess your statement is correct. It was the lowest scoring game. But in turn, it was also the highest scoring game in the NBA as well, because there was only one game. But either way, I think I understand what you were trying to say. I know we were on the same page, because I had the under in that particular ball game. That was my NBA tier pick, my last one for the season. And so I believe what you're trying to say. I'm in agreement with you. And, thank you for the comment, although I'm still unclear as to what you were saying. But in translation, I think we were 100% on the same page. And if that is the case, congratulations on the win and a very nice pick by you, Dr. Franco. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my Patreon website, just keep in mind, Patreon is going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today, you're going to get access to that content all the way through the end of July. And then if you continue to opt in, you're going to get billed again on August 1st, and you're going to get access to that content all the way through the end of August as well. I always tell folks the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Weekend's right around the corner. It's Thursday. And for some of you guys, you may just play hooky tomorrow. This might be your Friday. This might be it. So, Friday's right around the corner. Weekend's right around the corner. But anyway, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.